Girl, it ain't over till death do us part. Said it ain't over.
Hey y'all,
What's up? What's up? What's up?
did y'all watch last week's episode?
Please tell me y'all did.
We talked all about balancing priorities. So if you didn't go catch that, y'all know where to find us on YouTube and Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So go back and watch that episode to get caught up. But this week, we are going to be talking about effective communication. We're entitling this episode Talk to Me
Talk
Nice.
to me nice.
For our first faithful moments, we want to talk about speaking in love and how faith guides communication.
We just somewhat had a moment right
He
before
pissed
the
me off, y'all. Pissed
Listen,
me
had a
off.
real moment.
I don't even know if I'm fully over it. I'm still mad, but it's okay. The work must continue. I love you. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. I said something earlier, and I think a lot of people can somewhat feel what I'm saying, what I'm about to say. Sometimes effective communication kind of get mixed in between giving you my raw feeling. I'm saying, like telling you what's real, how I really feel, and that don't necessarily mean that it's effective.
So are you saying that some people confuse honesty or raw emotion being expressed through conversation as effective communication?
Yeah, like this is how I feel. Like it may affect how you feel based upon how I say it, but this is raw and this is real. And then we got to be honest with ourselves. I think sometimes you need to be with somebody who can know that this is just this may be a raw space for you, and not completely take what you say as a dig all the time.
I'm gonna let you talk, but I don't agree.
No, cause I'm probably about to put my foot in my mouth with what I'm gonna say. So I'm not saying it in regards of you saying something that is completely like
outlandish.
Yeah, like not harsh, but raw. Cause like sometimes we can conflate those two, and it may not be that. Like me saying, "What the crap are you doing?" Cussing you out and saying, "Do you not realize that what you did was like completely wrong? You look like an idiot. This, that, and the third. Stupid." Using all of these words to describe you as a person,
right? That's an example of raw emotion, but not being.
No, that's an example of being harsh. But me saying what you did, like, really put us in a bad space, and I honestly, I'm not feeling you right now. Now, for some people, they may feel like man, that's kind of harsh, but that's raw. That's like me being real about where I'm at, because what you did, kind of hurt my feelings, or what you did, I really didn't like that. So when I say raw, I'm not necessarily saying harsh.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I think maybe so marriage is all about maturation, right?
That's true.
So eventually you need to get to a point where you're able to have effective communication while processing your raw emotions, but making it palatable for your partner. What's a bar with me?
You say a bar, you're not supposed to.
But it was. It touched my soul. It touched my soul because I meant every word.
React to your bar, but nah, that was bad.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's good.
Like I meant that. I think it's good to have a partner to be able to handle your raw emotions, but at the same time, you got to be able to filter it and say it in a nice way.
Right.
So that what you're saying won't get lost in translation.
Sure.
Because just like I've learned with you, and I'm not sure if this is the same with most men, but once my pitch reach a certain volume, you're not listening anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So the same way, I think, is important and why it's necessary to be able to speak to someone in love. So I agree kind of, but at the same time, the responsibility is on the other person to be able to monitor their message.
I think we should be afforded the space to say the thing that you're doing, what is actually doing to me and how it makes me feel about it. But I can't say that in a way that's more effective than just saying it just.
You pissing me off.
I don't think that's.
You see what I'm saying? Like, y'all, this is something that we're really working through.
I don't think that that's harsh.
But I'm telling you, I do.
Right. See? And this is where, like, I think this is where effective communication is going to come in for most people. Because this teaches us that we have to learn our partners. And we have to learn what is the danger zone for them. What is a trigger? What words can I say that they can receive without perceiving that I'm trying to just be nasty with them. Mm-hmm. Like for me, if you say you pissing me off, I'm like, oh, okay.
No.
Bad. But for you, if I say that, it's like, oh, how dare you?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That is, for me, it's
like
not that
you're my husband. Mm-hmm. You're not talking to me in a very husbandly or wifely way. Like that's like
I'm not.
No, because that's the same way. Like if I don't like you pissing me off, I don't like you aggravating me. Like I don't like don't say that type of stuff to me. We are lovers.
Right.
Like that's something that you tell somebody out the street that's just like, ugh. You should never look at me like that. Now I'm not saying it's unrealistic for me to say that you won't be pissed off with me. Don't tell me that. Find a better way to say it. Like you're really upsetting me right now, and so I just need a minute. You sounds a lot better than you pissing me off. Or Delaney, you being a little bit, you all up on me. You know what I'm saying? I just need a little bit of space. You aggravating me. It's like very much so. I don't care how you feel about it. It's about how I feel, and what you're doing to me, and how you feel does not matter at the moment. You know, that ain't marriage. Marriage is about considering the other person's feelings, right?
That's true. That's true. But sometimes marriage can feel as if you're being inconsiderate of your own feelings. So for you, me saying you pissing me off is like, whoa, wait a minute, just tell me you're upset. For me, it's just like, I mean, I'll just like I really don't mean nothing by it, but like right now, it's like, kind of being a little bit aggravated. I love you. Like, this don't take away my love for you. I still love you, but been a little aggravated. And I wasn't taught to substitute certain words.
Okay.
You pissing me off.
I understand. Maybe you were not taught that, but I think
you're upsetting me. Right? Because even me saying you're starting to upset me seems a little bit more feminine than based upon how I was raised. So like, you don't hear those words from most men. Most men are gonna say, "You're upsetting me." Mm-hmm. I hardly hear any man saying that. Really, I don't hear a lot of men saying that.
Maybe so.
We were given the right to express ourselves emotionally and figuring out ways to communicate. And what words should I say when I feel angry? We jump from angry to fight. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's what most men do. Is a straight. I'm gonna give it to you straight. Whereas women,
we need to chase them. We do. See law.
Yeah. Want to keep on?
No, I said what I said. Period. Be it.
Y'all need a what again?
A chaser.
Okay.
We do. I think it's self-explanatory. Like, I get what you're saying. Maybe, in order for me to survive in the world, like, you have to have a certain, like, tough exterior, and you have to be emotionally, secure, I guess, in a sense. But, like...
And forward. That's basically what I'm saying. Is like, you have to be forward about how you feel sometimes. And sometimes that could come off as a bit abrasive. Or me saying what I'm saying can seem as if I'm being harsh, but in reality, I'm just like, hey, I'm just telling you what it is. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what it is. Isn't what it's not just what I feel, but this is what it is. You pissing me off. Mm-hmm. Not you're upsetting me.
But I think, like, tell the men, though. I understand your back. So we've discussed your background and why you are the way you are. But why is it beneficial for you to be able to, adapt? Provide the chaser for the female? Provide more.
Give another word. I don't think people really.
Y'all get it, straight no chaser, But anyways, a better way to say it is being able to speak with love and grace to your partner. Why is that important in marriage? As a man.
Okay, so as a man.
Because for me, like, as a woman, I want my man to speak to me in that way because it makes me feel safe. It makes me feel secure.
Got it.
It makes me feel like my partner values my emotions and how I'm affected by what they say.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? When it's done.
Yep. My default is to be a straight shooter. Right? But I'm still learning. And so, like, this is the reality of most marriages. Like, a lot of us have been away sit forever. But when the two become one, we figure out ways to harmonize and, go forward in our relationship. And this is like one of those things where it's like, I know that my bluntness, my straightforwardness can come off as sometimes maybe rude or harsh. And I do realize that can, like, stop the flow of how we kind of interact with each other. If I'm too harsh, then I'm like, dang, I might need to apologize about that. And it's like, now I gotta apologize for something I meant well by, but because I said it in a way that wasn't effective, you know what I'm saying? Now we're having a whole discourse, or we're not having a discourse because we're separated. For men, it's necessary for us to make that adjustment, because it does offer you a space where you can feel safe, emotionally. And not just that, if you have children, if you have boys, it's like you're teaching them how to function with a woman in the house, how you handle a woman with care. Like, this is that box that has fragile on the outside of it. But the reality is that a lot of us aren't necessarily taught that, is this one of those things you have to learn. And I don't want people to hear this and be like, dang, he just ruffled her all the time. That's not the case, y'all. I promise y'all. No, that is not the case. But more than I would like to say, that sometimes I can just be very straightforward. And as you can see, women would like a chaser. They were like, they want to be spoken to, and in a way that sounds respectful, because if the roles were reversed, he said something that I felt was disrespectful, then I'd be all upset. But the reality is, you feel disrespected if I say, "You pissing me off," even if my intentions weren't to disrespect you. My intention was just to tell you, this is how I really feel.
I'm upset.
Yeah, I'm upset.
So, y'all, as you can see, effective communication is not easy. If it was, it wouldn't be something that you have to continuously work at with your partner. So, moving on to
no, wait. Maybe we don't need to just. We're gonna move on to the next thing.
Yeah, but it's okay if you guys don't want it.
If it's like a real raw thing, like an issue, like a real issue, I think it's always good to, like, pray.
Oh yeah, okay.
Like, pray before you actually have this type of conversation. Like, if it's something serious, something where, like, both of you guys can easily be triggered, and this could take y'all somewhere that could be very nasty or really good, probably be best if one of y'all pray.
So something that you are passionate about.
Very.
Yeah. So praying before you have the conversation.
Yeah.
And, also there are some things that you can go to God together about. But that's so crazy that you bring that up, because literally the other night I had to do that. I was so passionate about this thing, and I knew that if I talked about it, I was going to probably it was going to lead to an argument because I didn't have the time to properly process or filter my emotions.
Yeah.
And sometimes, even as y'all know, we talked a little bit about prayer last time. Like, going to God, it doesn't have to look like tearing. It's just like, Lord, I'm so upset about this.
Yeah.
Like, or you put on some worship music and then you're crying through it. And so, whenever you do have that conversation, in which we did, it went over a lot better than it probably would have if I had not had done that.
Yeah, because I feel like, whenever you pray first, God somewhat gives you a level of understanding about your partner. Like, and he makes you see your selfishness in this matter. So, I mean, sometimes when we pray, God gives us a reflection of where we are and where we were in that moment. And whether that's on both ends of the spectrum, for the husband and for the wife. But it just gives you an opportunity to go back to the conversation with a clear mind, clear head, clear emotions, and be able to handle that level of communication with patience. Oh, that's it.
Yeah, it's good.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Ready for the next segment? We are going to move on to our marriage myth section. So this week's myth is couples never argue.
Yeah.
And so, as we know, that's definitely a myth. But I think the perspective that comes along with this is that marriages that argue, it shows a sign of weakness within the marriage. Which I beg to differ. If you don't argue sometimes, then that means, like, what are y'all talking about? What are you passionate about? Like, are you suppressing every emotion that you have? And how healthy is that?
Yeah, because we can't agree on everything.
No, never.
Yeah. And in the moments that we disagree, then there's going to be some level of discourse. There should be. And if there isn't, then there must be maybe someone has the power, dynamic in that relationship, because now the other person feel like they have to just submit to the other one's perspective or persuasion or just their ways in general. And so you really suppress ultimately how you feel about something. And that ain't proper. That ain't marriage. That's a form of marriage, but I really feel like when it comes to marriage, the two become one. So there's a level of burning, there's a level of fire.
I like how marriage is a mirror, basically, and so it highlights any type
of your own proclivities, like your own issues that you somewhat gotten comfortable with, but in the face of someone else, they could be like, you need to see this. You need to see, like, this isn't working, not just for me, but this essentially isn't working for you. You just was by yourself and you were okay with what the results were because no one else had to feel what you just did or said.
Let's bring it on home, right? Let's make it practical for the people. For instance, there's a single man who, he was single, but recently got married and he lived alone. Now he is in the house with his wife and he leaves his clothes everywhere. And, he's very messy. And at first, she's like, well, why you don't let him pick up after yourself? Oh, it's fine. It's not hurting nobody. It's not a big deal. It kind of is. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Your stuff is in the way and I'm tripping over your shoes.
Yeah. Perfect example, actually.
In marriage, you begin to see how, oh man, well, it obviously wasn't a big deal for me, but I have to be considerate for someone else.
Yep. And then you become the couple that argues. I think there's just like a negative connotation that comes with arguing in general. I think people look at it as if, oh, y'all must not be equally yoked.
Are y'all not happy?
Are y'all not happy?
Marriage shouldn't be this hard.
Right. And
throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Right. People do that.
Yeah.
Literally. For a simple argument turns into divorce. Yeah. And the reality is, never. Exactly. You'll never be in a space with anybody else without having some level of disagreement. Especially if you got two different backgrounds. As far as like how you was raised and what do you prioritize versus what the other person prioritized. I remember you used to get angry about me leaving the toilet seat up.
Yeah, still do.
I don't leave it up as much.
You and I guess it's like a
effective communication right now. Okay.
It's like a 80-20, but we got a boy too.
We do have
so
son,
it's more of like a I don't know who did it, but it be up still.
Yeah. So The reality is that was one of the things that I had to make an adjustment for it.
Disagreements are a natural thing, and they can lead to growth if they are handled properly. And that there is a difference between healthy and unhealthy communication during conflict.
Yeah.
So even like the couple that, like we just talked about, they got married and the guy was leaving his clothes all everywhere. Like, instead of the woman, the wife, fussing about, oh, your clothes are just everywhere, finding a way to really be able to communicate that in a healthy way. Hey, I would appreciate it if you did this because XYZ is happening. That probably would have been a little bit better received than just, you leave your stuff everywhere. I'm so sick of this. You don't care about me because I'm asking you to do this one thing and you're not doing it. So that means you don't love me because all I did was ask you to put yourself up.
That's a major thing. That is a big issue when people argue, though, is why did we argue if it wasn't going to cause change? Like, if you ain't going to change, then you must not love me. You know what I'm saying? Or you don't love me enough to change this. And
I've been on that side because it's like, how else do you interpret it then? Because your lack of effort, it has to mean that you don't love me, because why else are you doing this? I've told you this over and over again. So like, how else, I guess, I don't know if it's just a woman thing or what, but like, how else do you interpret that? Besides that. But I think, I don't know, specifically as it relates to us and our marriage, I think I had to try and shift my mindset about, well, if he not putting his shoes in the closet, that don't mean he don't care about what I'm saying. He just, I don't know.
Me not caring about you saying sounds different, but from me not loving you.
Right. I know what it is. And I know it's unrealistic and irrational. I understand that. But I think as a woman, sometimes that's how you interpret it. And I think it's just got to be like a switch that you flip and not interpreting it that way. It's just like, oh, maybe he forgot to do it, or like some whatever other excuse besides he's just choosing to not listen to me and do what I ask. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that has really helped in our marriage as it pertains to some things, because as we know, my attention to detail is just like, I notice every single thing. But to you, you don't notice it until the pile is so big that it's like, oh my God, I cannot help but see this thing.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, I'm trying, ladies, out here to help y'all. Like, I just had to completely shift my perspective. It doesn't, just because they aren't doing a thing, it doesn't justify it. But it does not mean that they don't love you because they aren't doing the thing that you've asked. Maybe this is where effective communication comes in. The way that I've been trying to express the thing that is bothering me, my message is being lost in translation. Because I may not be possibly filtering it in a way to where they understand how much what they're doing is affecting me.
So it's like, what do you do when you've made the right, you giving proper communication for this? Like, you said it and you said it over and you said it over and you said it over. And you still have people who still feel like, well, if I said it that many times and you ain't done it yet, that just means you don't love me. And in some cases, a part of me would like to agree with that thought. Part of me would like to agree with, if they haven't changed by now, there must be some level of disconnect between the two. I
think it's situational.
That's what I'm going to get to.
Okay.
But the other part of me is, sometimes it could be other factors that come into play as to why this person doesn't pick up behind themselves as much as you would like for them to.
Like what?
Like, he or she may be tired.
Every day?
Not every day. See, that's ridiculous. You ain't talking about that. We ain't talking about that. But it is a reality, though. Like,
I guess.
Not saying like, you can pick up behind yourself. Like, you can do that. I'm trying to think about something else. Cook it every day. If she don't cook every day, that means she don't love me.
Okay.
But let me be considerate about what type of day you just had. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, yes, because I know a lot of men that are like this. They like, she ain't gonna cook for me, and she must not really love me.
I know that really based on a meal.
All that based on picking up shoes.
Oh,
you see what I'm saying? You see, we can't say that. This is what I'm saying, and this is how like that argument becomes like a little bit skewed in a way. Because like if my performance becomes the basis of me loving you, that can somewhat be problematic in and of itself. Because what happened in days that I don't perform? Like, because I'm human. And because I have my own triggers, I get tired, I get flustered, and I just want to come on and lay down because the kids was driving me crazy at home. You've been home all day, you washing clothes, you could clean it. Oh, I forgot to cook. Dang. What happens in those moments? My performance failed. And because my performance failed, you felt like I love you. Like, so sometimes it's like...
I think the whole I don't love you thought comes from not just like a one instant situation. I think it's a consistent pattern of neglect.
Okay.
In a marriage, you're not tallying. But if it's something that continues to happen, it's like, man, you just coming in and putting your shoes right here, and I done told you not to do it. I done asked you not to, but it's like, okay, I want to put my shoes right here, so that's just what I'm going to do. You don't care about how I feel about it enough to just take your shoes upstairs and put it in the closet.
Okay, so let's talk about like stuff that could help situations like that.
Okay, let's do it.
Like, you know that every time your husband or wife comes home, you prefer that they don't leave their shoes at the door. What if one day you decide, you know, I'm gonna buy like some kind of rack, put it by the door, put the rack by the door, and every time the person puts the shoes on the rack, they have to take the rack upstairs. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the night, or whatever, however that works. But that way, what you want get done, and the other person doesn't get annoyed by all your, you need to be doing this. Right. It's like, that's what I mean when I say like, well, I worry sometimes about people expectation of what love is and how we base it on it being a performative thing all the time. It's like, if you don't do this, if you ain't crossing this T, dotting this I, then do you really love me? And that can get like real iffy, because to love somebody is to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not taking that from it. It is somewhat of a performative thing. But when you got agape love, you know what I'm saying? Like, love that is unconditional based upon the pretenses of things that you do for me or not do for me, then you not putting your shoes up doesn't become the thing that I say to myself that makes me feel like that you don't love me. It just becomes like, it's annoying, kind of gets on my nerves. Or going back to the first one, it's upsetting me that you are not putting your shoes up, and I would like for you to do that.
But I think a lot of times, instead of being able to articulate the issue with your partner, you internalize how you're really feeling. And so like you battle those thoughts of like, man, I cannot understand why this is not being done. This request is not being done. And so instead of really having those conversations, because it takes vulnerability, it takes a level of selflessness and like just understanding when it comes to communicating, and it's sometimes difficult for people.
So what do you think, Meek? So give us an example of how we should communicate something.
Well, I talked about it earlier. I mean, and I think you just said it like just recently.
I feel like,
wait, you're jumping into the next. Okay, let's just segue right there. Yeah. 3 simple techniques to improve communication. Tools like active listening, using I statements, taking pauses during heated discussions, and then also being able to respond in the conversation. Like, I heard you say XYZ. No, I said ZYX, and you interpret it as X, Y, and Z. So repeating what your partner stated to ensure clarity, and sometimes even setting the timer so that a person can have a chance to really say everything that they need to say without you interrupting, and then, you know, allowing the other person to be able to respond after the fact, are always simple techniques to help improve.
Yeah, that's gonna be more of an issue that women typically.
Okay, we are not having no gender war here.
Well, you're right. You're right. Let's keep it right there.
No, that's something that both partners can do and use.
Yeah. Set that timer, fellas. Just get what you need to say off your mind and your heart. And say how you feel. Right? Go tell them how they feel. Say, I feel I heard.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think that's perfect. Yeah. Moving on to our next segment, relationship real talk. Mm-hmm. So our focus here is going to be talking about what happens when communication breaks down. What is next? Mm-hmm. So this, we want to think about like nonverbal cues and how they impact communication. So how do you know when I'm upset with you? Nonverbal cues.
I know you're upset when you like shut yourself out, like you'll somewhat like stonewall in a way. Kind of go in a room. If I say something to you, like yeah, like try to give me like 2-letter words.
So my thing, and I guess we'll get back to the points, right? But if you're able to, after all this time, recognize when I'm upset, why does it take you so long to try and?
Because sometimes
come throw a life raft or something.
Sometimes I need a minute to.
Your minute.
Yeah, but no. The reality is sometimes we, as the other person who may not be offended, like we need a minute to gather our thoughts about what happened, what was said, before we just barge in the room and try to fix something. Because the reality is that although I know that you have an issue, I can't just jump into let's fix this issue right now with you.
I feel attacked.
I'm sorry. But there's a reality in that. Like I do somewhat have to wait, because sometimes it may take you 2 hours to get over something, or get to the space to where you can actually talk about it, even if you're not over it, but get to the point where you can talk about it and we move into a place of resolution. But then on the other side of that is it takes vulnerability to be able to go and fix a problem as well. Because there are some times where you may not be receptive. And if you're not receptive, that's going to make me somewhat feel rejected. And then when I feel rejected, then I'm going to somewhat go into my own little shell. Yeah, it's like you go into, and this is literally the battle in relationships. Yeah. So it's like, it's a vulnerable space in both sides. The side of the person that's offended, but then also the person that offended the other person.
Because I think for me in those moments, I don't know if I ever really thought about it until now, but it's like, I'll be mad, I need a minute, but also it's like, I want you to care enough to come see about me. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Understand what broke me in that moment. Mm-hmm. And I think I don't have rejection issues, but I think I have abandonment issues, I would say. Yeah. And so the fact that you're not coming, it's like you don't care. These rigid thoughts, the same way it's like, okay, well, you're not doing this, so you don't love me. Yeah. It's not like, I know it's not true. Yeah. But it's like, also I have to like talk myself off the ledge, because it's like, yeah, why isn't he coming to save me?
Yeah, because we got an adversary. Like, in the midst of us having our own issues, we do have an adversary called the devil, who will remind you in conversation prior that you probably already resolved, and will say, see this? Do they really love you? Like, start to enforce certain doubts about your relationship and about where y'all actually are as it relates to how far you come in a relationship. And I think that's important for us to remember too. It's like, man, because we're in marriage, we're in a holy place before God. And if we're not careful, the enemy will come to steal, kill, and to destroy like this union. Although, like, I never really want you to sit and fester in those moments, because I would rather just go ahead and get this resolved and get it fixed. I need to sit with my feelings sometimes. I think it's good to like sit with your emotions and filter through that, but that takes maturity. Like, because sometimes everybody isn't in a space where they're mature enough to be in that space and be mature in that space as well. Sometimes that becomes like a door opportunity to do things that you know you're not supposed to be doing within a relationship or a marriage. It's complicated because I do know that you want us to fix it. I do know that you want me to be like, girl, come here, you know, let me show you some love. But then there's the other side of you that is like, don't touch me.
Yeah, I know.
Don't bother me. So it's like, that can be a weird place to be in sometimes.
Now, look, I apologize. Really. I don't think I really understood how frustrating I can be, I guess, but I'm working on it. Like, because honestly, y'all, we told y'all when we started this podcast, we had got into it. You know, I didn't know if we was going to make it through this podcast, but I am trying to be more mature in that way. Like, yes, you pissed me off. That's temporary. You know, we still love each other. Like, we can get through this. I don't have to be mad for the whole day because I was offended.
Fine. Remember this.
Don't do too much. It's
do this in remembrance of me.
We are crawling.
Gotcha.
We're crawling. But I want to be able to like just be like, oh, okay, that was just a thing. It was just a moment. It don't have to be a mountain.
Yeah. Just pay attention to like the nonverbals. A lot of times, because women are different. You guys are just vastly much more different than us men. With men, we're somewhat generally kind of similar in most cases, but with women, especially how they express their emotions, it can differentiate a lot between how y'all. Because some women are like, no, I want to resolve this now. I want you to hear how I feel. This, that, the third. But then when it comes to you, you would want me to hear how you feel, but it's after I feel what you feel. It used to be.
I was gonna say
that's no, it used to be
vindictive. Like, what are you?
No. Not like being in a way of, if I hurt your feelings, I may hurt your feelings back. I might say something. I may react. I
think that was never the intent.
I might say it may not have been the intent. I'm not saying it was, but that at one point,
if I accidentally no, I think it was if you did or said something to me, and I felt
hold on, I want people to, like, when you say did, like,
I'm not worrying about what these people thinking.
We don't even think like abuse or any of those things. No, those are not in this marriage. Okay, so let's just stick to say. If I said something,
that is the analytical brain that comes with this husband of mine. Like, it's not.
I just want to make that clear, because people listen. The world is full of
y'all. We're not talking about any physical
and women who have been abused, and I don't want them to think that they're gonna be listening to a podcast of a man and a woman who have been through some level of abuse.
No, that's not what we're talking about. Okay, we'll be going.
Got you, but go ahead.
I done about lost my whole thought with this.
There was just a time where
I was ruthless, like with my
your
words.
Tongue.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like that, because I don't think the thought was, okay, I felt hurt or attacked with these words, so I'm gonna hurt and attack him. I just think I was more caught up with like defending my own self with disregard for how it was communicated. I would say
there.
Yeah, I don't think like my intent was like, ooh, I'm just gonna hurt him, or ooh, I'm just gonna be mean with him. For me, now this just on the receiving end, you didn't care about how your words would affect me emotionally. I would try to be more cautious about how I said what I said to you. Because
I think it's now.
No, I know my intent. I mean, I know my bloodline and how it can be. So I don't want to just say whatever I want to say and say how I feel at all times.
Yeah, but that was based on because you didn't want to have to come back and say sorry.
Maybe so. I want to say what I mean and mean what I say. That's how I was taught.
Right, but so it was to protect. It was to protect somewhat of your pride or your ego. So that if you said something, so what you would do is stonewall. And sometimes like we did move from that place of communication that was disrespectful, right?
Right.
But then it became to non-communication. And I still got the result of feeling disrespected. You get what I'm saying?
Are you saying that that's how you feel on the receiving end?
Yes, that's how I felt on the receiving end. Although, like, now we've gotten time in this, like, I'm not taking that as disrespect anymore. I was immature in a way. I was immature emotionally too. Like, this is before like therapy and all of that. And like I said, I was dealing with my rejection issues. Now I know that it wasn't necessarily that, although it could have been a part of it, but it doesn't affect me like that. And I was just like, oh, okay.
I think we both had things that we.
I need a minute too. Like we both just need a minute.
Yes, we both just got things that we got to work on. Because I think during that process, I would say the wrong thing and do the wrong thing, and then be apologizing for the wrong thing. So yes, you're right. I didn't want to have to apologize for things that I didn't say. I mean, that I said that I didn't mean. So it's like, okay, well, just say what I mean. Then when I say what I mean, it would come off rude, disrespectful. So it's like, why waste words? I won't say anything.
Okay.
So I went to my own little corner, own little chair. And obviously, well, that's wrong too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this has been a growing process.
Yeah.
Because, like, you start feeling like, well, dang, everything I'm doing is wrong. Everything I'm saying is wrong. Everything I'm trying is wrong.
Yeah.
If I'm just going to be wrong, I'm going to be wrong by myself. In this marriage, huh? Sounds crazy.
Crazy as hate.
Sounds crazy. But that was
both of us.
That was the transition that I just kind of went through. It's like, man, until now we're walking out the uncomfortable process of being vulnerable.
No, this goes back to the point of like what you were saying. Like, I think when our responses to disagreements or to arguments create doors of expectation in arguments. So like, whereas I used to feel like I still could come to you and be like, hey, look, like, I apologize, we can resolve that quick. At the time, if you started rejecting me, I lost somewhat of the zeal to come back and resolve the issue in those moments. Same could be said for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I ain't gonna say that because last time I said something and it was disrespectful. We probably ain't talking 2 days, 3 days. And I probably created this door of unsafety for you. You know what I'm saying? Not feeling safe. And I think it's just, we have to be careful. We may be going off subject a little bit.
No, I think it's good to like let people be able to hear and listen to the growing pains that we had as far as our communication and being able to have unhealthy communication back then to being able to transition to more of a healthier type of communication.
Listen, y'all, with prayer and fasting, and fellas, you need God when you're dealing with women. Okay, you need God when you got a wife because He talked to you first. Believe it or not, He would rather deal with you. But yeah, I'm just saying that us men sometimes we catch a lot. Y'all complain about us a lot. You really do. But the reality is like we just don't complain, but we have a lot of internal things that be going on in our mind.
Well, communicate. Well, that's what it's all about.
See, here's the issue, though. The issue with what you're saying is women value safety for their emotions, right?
Uh-huh.
The reality is men need that same thing. It's just that we can't, again, like I was saying in the beginning, we haven't been taught and trained enough on how to express ourselves emotionally. And again, like substituting words with pissing me off.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think like you're just saying, like I don't think that's a gender thing. Like that is
that's all
right, maybe, but just listen to me. Hear me out. Okay, y'all know I'm a therapist, right? So just let me insert this real quick. If y'all are having communication issues, one way to assist with this is seeking outside help through couples counseling, and where you can like reset expectations and have a unbiased opinion about the thing, right? But one thing that we work on in couples counseling in therapy is effective communication. And so like I understand you saying that it may be more prone to males not knowing how to communicate properly.
Not just that, but us not having a space to be effective with communicating our emotions. That's what I'm saying. We don't get the space to. If somebody robs this house, it is okay for you to go in the closet and to be afraid of what could happen to this family. As a man, it is not okay. I got the same fear you got. But as a man, it is not okay for me to go in fear and be and worry about what's going to happen to my family. I have to respond to most things with a level of, I don't know, I'm trying to figure out a word to say for it. But I just don't get the opportunity to just feel okay with not being safe.
I understand.
It's
like there isn't always a
we
safe...
don't get that.
Right. I mean, I understand.
So I'm not complaining about that either. What I am saying, because a part of that is just this is just what it is. Because I am a man and we are men. But the reason why I said all that was to say that sometimes as men we need y'all to provide us a safe place for us too, and not have these same expectation that happens in society with men and how they can't feel or they must not feel or this, like it's like we just afford us the opportunity to feel sometimes.
Right. And I think it just depends on the environment that you're in. Like I get what you're saying and I understand it all.
You ain't listening.
I hear you.
You hear me, but I don't think you hear me. I think
outside of the walls, I understand you have to be that way. But yes, as a woman, your thing to me is, right, let's just take everybody else out of it. Let's talk about us now.
Okay.
Your response to me is, Delana, I need you to be able to make a safe space for me to be able to feel vulnerable enough to communicate, to effectively communicate how I feel. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So, but what does that mean for me? What does that look like for you with creating a safe space? Because now, as a woman, I'm having to contend against your upbringing. I'm having to contend against society and all these things.
I'm contending against that same thing.
But no, you're telling me as a man, though, there are different type of things that y'all have to contend with that make it not safe for you to be able to let your guard down emotionally.
So what
I'm saying that in this home,
right,
I want it to be an environment to where you don't have to hold up those same defenses that you do outside of it. So like when it comes to, right, we're going all the way full circle. When it comes to how we're feeling, if I'm pissing you off or whatever, you don't respond to me the way you would do outside of the four walls, because in here it's okay for you to express and be more vulnerable here rather than outside. You get what I'm saying?
Yes,
like,
I get what you're saying. All I'm saying is that, like, So I'm not saying I need you to deal with all of my defenses and how I was brought up. What I'm saying is, when I have a emotional moment, if I have a vulnerable moment, I need that moment. And we talked about this, I think, on a previous episode. I need those moments not to be used against me. Like, that's what, when I say, like, this is why a lot of us men don't necessarily communicate or don't talk in relationship. We get upset. We kind of recluse or we sit in the car. We sit in the bathroom for an hour to deal with what we are dealing with emotionally. And for a man to feel like his relationship is safe, I think we're just stepping into something completely different other than what we're supposed to be talking about.
Yeah, kind of. But I feel like the onus, to me, it sounds like you're putting a lot of the onus on the woman to create this environment so that this man
because the onus, but the thing is that the onus is on men for y'all to feel safe. The same thing you're saying is literally the same.
Not really, because a woman is gonna,
you're going to express yourself, but to the degree of how well this person handles your expression. So if I'm not reacting in the way that you don't think is conducive for you to be vulnerable, you're not going to be vulnerable. Right or wrong?
All of this
answers the question.
I am.
Okay.
All of this is situational and circumstantial.
That's true.
Because you're basing your perspective is based upon me and how I've been in our marriage. But and how I shut down and based upon my trauma and how I handle certain things. But like, there are women who aren't like me. And they may say whatever they want to say and however they feel, regardless of how you treat them. I'm going to tell you what I got to tell you. And it don't matter if you're being nice to me. It don't matter if I feel secure and safe. Yes, generally, women want to feel safe and men want to be respected. But
that's what we're talking about.
Right. But there is other situations to where it's not always like this. So the point that I'm endeavoring to make is that I will do more in trying to make you feel safe. But I don't want you to assume, like, based upon your trauma, because I keep hearing you reiterate the fact of stuff being used against you. Like, that may have been done in the past in my immature state when we were married in our early 20s.
Right, but
that is not something that I do now.
Okay. That's fair.
That is
I don't want you to think that this is a me thing, though.
No, but I'm talking about us. I care about y'all and I care about the people, but we talk about this here.
I know, but babe, I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about a general consensus between men. Men talk. And most men that are married or not married will tell you that they do not feel safe to communicate effectively in their marriage or in their relationship or just in general. Most of them hide what they feel. And I'm just saying, like, can it be a space for men to,
Yeah, but because of that, I was just saying, like, if we're not talking about us. And
we're good.
And we're talking about other
people.
We're
good because we going to say it. No, we done been, this is y'all. We've been married for 11 years, okay? So we going to say it. And we going to love each other while we saying it. And we going to say it respectfully.
But I was just wondering for the women out there, like, what can they do, I guess, if a man is choosing to suffer in silence because they feel like they don't have a safe space?
All of that isn't on them. I'm not saying that responsibility is on the woman.
Okay.
No, I'm not saying that.
I'm just seeking clarity.
But if you're giving them the olive branch to express themselves and they don't, the lack thereof isn't on them or the woman. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you're one of those women who like, you look weak like that.
Okay, yeah.
You get what I'm saying? That you're not giving him a fair opportunity to be a man that expresses emotions.
Right.
Because you need a man to be able to express that side too. Because you need that's him, really. That in honesty, that's who he is. That's a part of him. That's why you probably fell in love with him. But if you don't get to know his why, you don't really get to have him.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing goes for the men. If we don't get to know your why, we don't really deserve you. I need to know why you tick the way you tick.
Mm-hmm. I think that's good.
Yeah. So let's go to our promises. This week's promise is to listen before you speak. Right? Make sure you guys listen before you speak. Because a lot of times you don't really need to give a rebuttal. Sometimes you just need the partner just want to be heard.
Right, man. We don't need you to solve our problems. Just listen to us complain.
Yeah, man. That's mainly for us. But we be ready to fix it.
Yes.
Fix it, Jesus.
Yeah.
that is definitely my problem. I want to fix it. Let's go ahead and get this thing solved, resolved, whatever I want to say, however you want to put it. I want to fix it.
Mm-hmm.